On July 7th of 2016, Valve replaced Quickplay with a so-called casual mode. Gone was accessing a server via the server browser. You had to go through matchmaking. Quickplay gets an upgrade, they called it. Yet everyone I knew was unhappy with it, and I even call it a downgrade. One reason being that originally you couldn't even select the map, only the game mode. I gave casual a bit of time to see how it turned out. Maybe Valve would improve it, I thought. Yet 4 months later, and still not much has changed. I saw a lot of people ranting about casual mode, I saw other people defending it. Yet I never saw anyone actually sit down and look at the entire thing objectively. So I've decided that it's time for me to do exactly that. I'm going to talk about what casual even is, or rather what's good and bad about it. It's important for me to mention that I'm only going to talk about casual and not competitive, because competitive is something else and deserves its own video. I will be using a pro and contra list. I usually hate those, since some pros and cons are more important than others, but it's still a good way to list all the good and bad things. This is not a funny video, because I want to stay neutral. I want to analyze casual and quick play, and I will try to stay objective and not subjective to be fair towards casual. Maybe casual is even better than quick play. We'll see. Okay, let me begin with the good aspects of casual. Queuing with friends is really good, because now you don't need to find a server with 19 players in it if you and 4 of your friends want to play. Since you can only join via matchmaking, hackers and trolls and other people that stalk you to join your games and ruin your fun can't do that anymore. I'm not saying that it happened a lot back then, but it did happen to a couple of people. Being able to save and load custom map lists is incredibly useful. The EXP system is a really nice addition, and it rewards you for playing by encouraging you to finish a game, yet you still get XP if you quit, so you get rewarded if you just play casually. Now onto the bad aspects. Casual mode has no auto balance and no vote scramble, which means that teams are easily imbalanced. Not all maps and all game modes are available for the time being. RD Asteroid, CTF Sawmill and PL Cactus Canyon jump to mind. You cannot switch teams to help out the losing team if your team is stomping them. It's very hard to get into obscure game modes sometimes because they are less popular. The matchmaking is really bad sometimes. I've heard stories of Americans being sent to servers in Dubai, for example. You have to wait for the game to find your server. You can't just hop in and out of servers as you could before. Waiting for the game to find your server takes about 2 or 3 minutes or even longer sometimes. A personal issue that I have is that for the first 10 or 20 seconds, the game is unable to find any servers for me. It just displays a question mark. I had the same problem before with Quickplay, which is why I never use Quickplay. I only use the server browser. After a team has won a game 2 times, the game just ends. You cannot keep playing and the server just shuts down after a while. The map doesn't even restart. You can rematch, but rematches rarely happen because it requires 6 players of each team to vote for it, instead of 12 players in total, no matter the team. Selecting find a new match at the end of the game is pretty much pointless because the server shuts down after a while, so you're forced to go back to the menu anyway. Matchmaking puts you in any server. It doesn't matter if the game is already in progress or not, you cannot choose it either. You cannot randomly join servers anymore, and you also can't join your friends' games. You also cannot duel your friends, and you can't fight against your friends. Now that's all the bad aspects. Here's some points that I wasn't sure if they were positive or negative, so I just left them as neutral. A server needs at least 12 people to start, and you cannot join empty servers anymore. Matchmaking parties can only have 6 players in total. That's all the points I could think of. You decide for yourself which of these points are more important than others. But the thing is that casual mode has more downsides than quick play. So my final verdict is that casual mode is indeed objectively worse than quick play. Valve may change a lot of these things, but some of them are literally impossible to change. Like for example, having to wait for the game to find your server. I've heard people say, just use community servers, but that's not an alternative. That's avoiding the issue instead of addressing it. Not only is it very rare to find good vanilla servers, many of them don't even have good maps, they only play Trade Plaza or CP Orange or Mario Kart. A lot of them have ads, donor or admin perks, or just unnecessary add-ons. And contracts, among other things, don't work on them. And not to mention that a lot of countries don't even have good community servers. So what does this mean? What does this mean for TF2? I cannot say. We just need to wait and see how casual mode develops. I've heard people say that matchmaking might be a necessary step that TF2 has to take to go with the times. And perhaps, if Valve supports the game enough, that may be true. Or maybe they will also decide to revert back to Quickplay. I don't know. That the majority of community servers are bad is due to Quickplay. On launch, the game only had community servers. But then later, Valve created their own ones and introduced Quickplay. Since Valve servers were vanilla, they were pretty much the best experience, and as a result, community servers died out. But if Valve supports community servers more and adds some sort of matchmaking Quickplay system for them, then maybe good community servers can come back. But even that wouldn't get rid of all the issues that casual has. It's only an alternative. It's really not possible to tell how it will all develop at the moment. It's all up to Valve and how they support the game. All we can do is give feedback and say what we do and don't like. I think it's a really good start to point out all the issues, which is what I did in this video. So hopefully Valve will see this video and reconsider casual mode. Thank you for watching this video. I know it wasn't a very funny one, but this was a very important topic that I wanted to talk about. I will make funnier videos in the future though, so don't worry about that. Have a great day and goodbye until then.